The Galactic Wellness Summit had attracted representatives from 47 species, all gathering aboard the orbital station Harmony's Rest to share their culture's approaches to health and relaxation. Ambassador Trill of the Vexen Empire had attended dozens of such conferences, but this was her first encounter with the peculiar race called humans. The humans had set up a demonstration booth in the station's grand exhibition hall, and Trill found herself drawn to it by curiosity. A sign above the entrance read, "Human Therapeutic Massage, Ancient Healing Art," in 17 languages. The human manning the booth, a stocky fellow named Marcus, greeted her with the characteristic smile that made humans look perpetually amused. "Welcome, Ambassador," Marcus said, his translator rendering his words in perfect Vixen clicking. "Would you like to experience one of humanity's oldest wellness practices?" Trill's 4 eye stalks swiveled to examine the padded table in the center of the booth. Her species had no equivalent to this concept. The Vexen addressed physical discomfort through sonic frequencies and chemical baths. The idea of another being touching one's body for therapeutic purposes seemed bizarre, perhaps even primitive. "I am intrigued by the novelty," Trill admitted. "Please explain the mechanism of this massage." Marcus launched into an explanation that Trill struggled to fully comprehend. Humans apparently possessed an intricate understanding of muscle structures, pressure points, and something they called myofascial networks. They had developed techniques over thousands of years to manipulate soft tissues, promoting circulation and releasing tension. "The human hand," Marcus continued, flexing his 5-digited appendage, "is uniquely suited for this work. Our opposable thumbs, the strength of our palms, the sensitivity of our fingertips' evolution gave us natural tools." Trill's species communicated primarily through bioluminescent patterns and clicking sounds. They rarely touched except during reproduction. The Vexen body was covered in smooth, scale-like plates that shifted colors with their moods. The concept of kneading flesh was foreign. "I will attempt this experience," Trill declared, her scientific curiosity overcoming her hesitation. "For diplomatic purposes, naturally." Marcus guided her to the table, explaining that she should lie face down. Another human, a woman named Rita, with long dark hair tied back, entered the booth. She would be performing the massage, while Marcus observed and translated. "We'll start with a standard relaxation protocol," Rita explained, warming a fragrant oil between her palms. "Please let me know if the pressure is uncomfortable." The first touch made Trill's plates ripple with surprise. Rita's hands were warm, almost hot compared to Trill's own cool-blooded physiology. The human began with long, smooth strokes across Trill's back, and the Vetian ambassador felt something unexpected. The tight knots of stress she had been carrying for weeks began to respond. Rita's fingers found the junction where Trill's upper and lower torso segments connected, a place where Vixene often experienced strain from maintaining their upright posture in various gravities. The human pressed firmly, and Trill released an involuntary click of surprise. "Is that not your finger, humans?" Trill asked, trying to crane her eye stalks backward. "It's long and solid, like a tool. But I am enjoying this." Rita laughed, a sound like water bubbling over stones. "That's my thumb, Ambassador. It's shorter than my fingers, but much stronger. Perfect for deep pressure work." Marcus added, "The human thumb is one of our species' defining features. It allows us to grip tools, manipulate objects with precision, and yes, apply concentrated pressure during massage therapy." Trill pondered this as Rita continued working. The human's technique was methodical, alternating between broad palm strokes and focused thumb pressure. When Rita's knuckles traced along Trill's spinal ridge, the ambassador felt decades of accumulated tension dissolving like ice in warm water. "Remarkable," Trill clicked. "My people use technology for everything. We have sonic relaxation chambers, chemical treatment pods, even neural pleasure stimulators." Yet this primitive method, forgive me, I mean traditional method, produces such profound effects. No offense taken, Rita said cheerfully, moving to work on Trill's lower segments. We've heard that from a lot of species. The Kryn delegates yesterday were skeptical too, until they tried it. Turns out their exoskeleton joints were holding stress they didn't even know about. Marcus pulled up a holographic display showing comparative anatomy. See, Ambassador, the human hand evolved for manipulation of our environment. 27 bones in each hand, 34 muscles controlling movement, and thousands of nerve endings providing feedback. When we touch something, we receive constant information about texture, temperature, and resistance. This makes us naturally skilled at adjusting our technique in real time. Trills. Attention divided between Marcus's lecture and Rita's hands performing seemingly impossible feats of pressure and release. The human had found a spot beneath Trill's third rib plate that the ambassador didn't even know was sore until Rita pressed it. A wave of relief flooded through Trill's body. Your species must have been healers long before you achieved space travel, Trill observed, her plates shifting to a contented blue-green hue. Massage therapy dates back at least 5,000 years in recorded human history, Marcus confirmed. Ancient civilizations on every continent developed their own techniques. Chinese traditions, Indian Ayurvedic practices, Egyptian methods. Greek sports massage, all of them recognized that skilled touch could heal and restore. Rita's forearm now pressed along the length of Trill's spine, and the ambassador felt vertebrae she didn't know could move, shifting into better alignment. The human's elbow, another peculiar joint, dug into a stubborn knot of muscle near Trill's hip socket. How do you know where to apply pressure? Trill asked, genuinely fascinated. Do you possess some form of biological scanning ability? Training and experience mostly, Rita replied. I can feel subtle differences in tissue texture, temperature variations, and how muscles respond to pressure. When I find an area of tension, it feels different under my hands, harder, sometimes cooler, often painful when pressed. The human nervous system is incredibly sensitive to touch. We can detect pressure differences of just a few grams. The session continued for another 30 minutes. Rita worked systematically through Trill's entire body, discovering and releasing tension in places the ambassador had forgotten could feel relaxed. The human's hands seemed to possess an intelligence of their own, adapting pressure and technique to each area. When Rita finally stepped back and announced the session complete, Trill lay motionless for a long moment. Her plates had shifted through a spectrum of colors, finally settling on a deep, satisfied purple that Vexen rarely achieved outside of meditation. I feel as though I have molted, Trill said slowly, rising from the table. Her movements felt fluid, effortless in a way they hadn't in years. My body is lighter. The chronic pain in my lower back has vanished. How is this possible from mere physical manipulation? Marcus and Rita exchanged pleased looks. The science is actually quite complex, Marcus began. Massage increases blood flow, which brings oxygen and nutrients to tissues while removing waste products. It stimulates the lymphatic system, reducing inflammation. The pressure triggers nerve receptors that can interrupt pain signals to the brain. And there's evidence that massage reduces stress hormones while increasing production of endorphins and other beneficial neurochemicals. But honestly, Rita added with a grin, sometimes we humans just know that something works before we understand exactly why. Our ancestors discovered that rubbing a sore muscle made it feel better, and they refined that observation into an art form. Trill's eye stalks swiveled between the two humans, reassessing everything she thought she knew about this young species. Humans had only joined the galactic community 3 generations ago. Many elder species still considered them naive, impulsive, emotionally volatile. Yet here was an example of profound wisdom hidden in simplicity. I must report this to the Vexen Health Council immediately, Trill declared. We have medical technology capable of cellular regeneration, but we have nothing that addresses the whole body experience quite like this. Would your species consider training Vexen practitioners in these techniques? Marcus's face lit up. We'd be honored, Ambassador. Cultural exchange is part of why we're here. Though I should mention, it takes years to become a skilled massage therapist. It's not just technique, it's developing sensitivity in your hands, learning to read bodies, understanding the connection between physical and mental wellness. My people are patient when the goal is worthwhile, Trill assured him. She paused at the booth's exit, her plates flickering with amusement. I came here expecting primitive superstition disguised as medicine. Instead, I discovered that humanity's greatest tool may not be your starships or your computers, but the very hands you evolved with. Those fingers and thumbs that seemed so strange to us may be your species' finest evolutionary gift. Rita bowed slightly, a human gesture of respect. Thank you, Ambassador. We look forward to sharing more of our traditions with the galaxy. As Trill departed, she noticed a queue of curious aliens forming outside the human booth, all drawn by the ambassador's visible transformation. Word was spreading through the station. The humans possessed something V,